Adobe, a titan in the creative software world, has shaped the digital landscape with iconic tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, and After Effects. These powerhouses have fueled Hollywood blockbusters, empowered millions of YouTubers, and set the gold standard for design and content creation. But behind the glitz of their success lies a darker tale, a story of controversy, betrayal, and a global backlash that threatens to topple their empire. Welcome to Boardroom Secrets, where we peel back the curtain on Adobe's fall from grace. Get ready for a wild ride through corporate missteps, user outrage, and a fight for creative control that'll leave you stunned. Let's start with Adobe's golden days. In the early 2000s, their business model was straightforward. Buy a license for Photoshop or Illustrator for a hefty $700, own it forever, and pay a small fee for upgrades. It was a win-win. Users got top-tier tools, and Adobe built a loyal fan base thanks to their unmatched quality. Photographers, designers, and filmmakers swore by Adobe, and for good reason. Their software was the backbone of creativity. But in 2013, Adobe flipped the script, diving headfirst into a subscription-based model called Creative Cloud. Software as a service, SaaS, was the shiny new trend, and Adobe was all in. Instead of a one-time purchase, users now paid monthly or yearly to access their tools. It was a bold move, and financially, it paid off big time. Revenue soared to hundreds of millions per quarter, and Adobe's stock skyrocketed. They'd cracked the code, or so they thought. But here's where the plot thickens. The subscription model gave Adobe unprecedented control. They could change terms on a whim, locking users into agreements they barely understood. And boy did they flex that power. One of the most infuriating moves came when Adobe sent ominous notices to users of older software versions, warning they were no longer authorized to use them. Continue, and you might face lawsuits from third parties. Cue gasps of disbelief. Adobe never fully explained why, leaving users confused and enraged. Imagine pouring years into mastering Photoshop, only to be told your legally purchased software is suddenly off limits. It felt like a betrayal, a slap in the face to loyal customers who'd built their careers on Adobe's tools. The real firestorm, though, erupted over Creative Cloud's subscription terms. On the surface, Adobe offered two plans, a monthly option and a cheaper annual plan billed monthly. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Buried in the fine print was a trap. The annual plan locked users into a year-long contract, and canceling early triggered a massive penalty. 50% of the remaining balance, often hundreds of dollars. Ouch! Many users didn't realize this until they tried to cancel, only to be hit with a bill that felt like highway robbery. Take Jane, a freelance graphic designer from Seattle. She signed up for Creative Cloud, thinking she could cancel anytime. When she tried to ditch it after 3 months, Adobe slapped her with a $200 cancellation fee. It felt like a scam, she posted on Reddit, echoing thousands of others sharing similar horror stories. Some were charged $60 after canceling a free trial, while others faced 300+ penalties. Even worse, some users reported being billed after paying the cancellation fee, as if Adobe's system was designed to squeeze every last penny. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, took notice, and in a rare move, they didn't just target Adobe, they went after its top executives, including the president and vice president of digital media. Talk about high stakes. The FTC accused Adobe of deceptive practices, alleging their subscription model misled users into thinking they were signing up for flexible monthly plans, when, in reality, they were shackled to costly annual contracts. The lack of transparency around cancellation fees was the final straw. The FTC's lawsuit wasn't just a slap on the wrist. It was a warning to the entire tech industry. Play fair or pay the price. But Adobe's troubles didn't stop there. Enter their next scandal, AI and data privacy. As the AI race heated up, Adobe jumped in with Firefly, a generative AI tool integrated into Photoshop and other apps, rivaling the likes of Midjourney and DALL-E. To train Firefly, Adobe needed vast amounts of data, images, designs, you name it. But here's the kicker. Users discovered Adobe had quietly updated Creative Cloud's terms of service, granting themselves a worldwide, royalty-free license to access, copy, display, and even sub-license user content. Hold up, what? In theory, Adobe could harvest your artwork, analyze it, and use it to train their AI, all without clear consent. The terms were so vague they could mean anything. sparking fears that Adobe was scanning local files on users' devices. For industries like film and advertising, where confidentiality is paramount, this was a deal-breaker. Imagine a Hollywood studio using Photoshop for a top-secret movie poster, only to worry Adobe might peek at their files. Unacceptable. The creative community erupted. Artists, designers, and filmmakers launched a global boycott, flooding social media with Boycott Adobe. Some took it further, uploading poisoned images, known as NAID files, designed to sabotage Adobe's AI training by feeding it garbage data. Savage move. One artist, a Disney veteran, found AI-generated knockoffs of his work on Adobe stock, with his name brazenly attached. "It's not just unethical, it's theft," he tweeted, sparking a firestorm of support. Adobe stock, once a trusted resource for photographers, was now flooded with low-quality AI images, some riddled with errors like distorted faces or unnatural compositions. And the price? Up to $80 for a single AI-generated image that took seconds to create. Talk about a ripoff. Users felt Adobe was no longer serving creators but exploiting them for profit. Adobe scrambled to respond, revising their terms to clarify they wouldn't scan local files for AI training unless uploaded to Adobe stock. But the damage was done. Trust was shattered. They only changed the policy because they got caught. One ex-user fumed. A sentiment echoed across forums. The boycott gained steam, and for the first time, Adobe's dominance looked shaky. Why? Because alternatives were emerging. DaVinci Resolve, a free and powerful video editing tool, was winning over filmmakers. Affinity's suite of design software offered robust features at a fraction of Adobe's cost, without the subscription trap. These competitors weren't just viable, they were thriving, proving creators could break free from Adobe's grip. Adobe's story is a cautionary tale of what happens when a company prioritizes profit over people. Their tools revolutionized creativity, but their monopolistic tactics, predatory subscriptions, opaque AI practices, alienated the very community they claimed to serve. Boardroom Secrets believes this isn't just about Adobe, it's about power, trust, and the fight for fairness in tech. As users grow savvier and alternatives gain ground, Adobe faces a choice: reform or risk ruin. Will they learn from this backlash, or will their empire crumble under the weight of their own greed? Stay tuned for more explosive stories from the corporate world, right here on Boardroom Secrets.